Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Infinite Warfare zombies. We're looking at, of course, the Zombies in Spaceland trailer, which I'm sure you guys at this point are sick and tired of watching. I understand that, guys, but you can learn so much from this trailer. We are so starved for information in regards to Infinite Warfare that when they released this trailer for zombies, there's so much to learn from, and I think it's actually a very subtle way of Infinity Ward saying, you know what, we also feel bad that we can't show you anything in regards to the multiplayer until September, so we're going to give you this trailer, and there's going to be a lot in it, but you have to actually search the trailer to actually find it. And what we found in this trailer was a lot of weapons which are going to be used in the Infinite Warfare multiplayer. If you guys don't know, the weapons that we see in this zombies trailer, they're basically a combination of multiplayer weapons, zombie specific variations, whatever that means, as well as quest weapons, which will be super powerful guns that can be assembled through completing various quests within the zombies mode. Now, the two quest weapons that we know of so far are going to be the Discord as well as the Face Melter, which we do get to see some instances of that, but I'm not going to be talking about those here in this video. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about the multiplayer weapons, so let's hop into it. Before we get into it, actually, I would like to say I apologize for the low-res quality of the images I'm about to show you guys. I took them from this trailer, but I had to download the trailer from YouTube. I did not get a download link from Activision or anything like that to get the trailer in its full quality. Like a while ago, I reached out to the Friday the 13th guy saying, hey, I want to cover your game in a video. Can you guys give me a link to your trailer? And they did. They sent me the full 4GB 30-second long trailer, right? It was absolutely insane, and I wish Activision would do that. So again, I apologize for the low res quality. I had to download the video from YouTube like everybody else, but let's hop into it with the return of the Ripper from Call of Duty Ghosts. I think people are very excited about that. You see Andre, of course, holding it here, and then you also see Andre holding the Intervention Sniper Rifle, which was a classic, a fan favorite, if you will, that we saw in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's definitely pretty awesome that both these weapons are going to be returning. I hope, I really hope, I dream that these are not going to be exclusive to zombies, but that they're also going to be in the multiplayer in some respect. I really hope that's the case. Next up, let's talk about melee weapons. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, melee weapons in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. What is this going to mean for the zombies experience? What does this mean for the multiplayer experience? So we see Poindexter here holding an axe, and here we see Andre using brass knuckles. That's very interesting because zombies traditionally doesn't have a heavy focus on melee, right? In traditional Treyarch zombies, you knife at lower rounds, and maybe you buy a Bowie knife to knife at higher rounds, but for the most part, you don't really melee too much in zombies unless you're trying to get some points, right? So I wonder why the focus on melee weapons in zombies. Also, I wonder what this means for Infinite Warfare's multiplayer, right? Because traditionally in Call of Duty, you don't have axes, you don't have brass knuckles. The only time we've seen stuff like that is when they bring them to the game via supply drops, right? It doesn't make sense within the context of Call of Duty to be running around with an axe or brass knuckles or a sword. So what they do is they don't have that in the base game by default, but rather they make it some sort of DLC. And I find it very interesting that they would show this in the very early stages of Infinite Warfare's reveal. So I have to wonder, is this stuff going to be in the multiplayer? And if it is, how is it going to be in the multiplayer? Is it going to be via some supply drop system? Is it going to be in there by default? Is it only going to be exclusive to zombies? We don't know, but we do know that melee weapons are in fact going to be in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Next up, let's talk about some of the weapons that we saw being used throughout various points here in this trailer. So here we see Poindexter using the energy submachine gun. And I have to say, guys, they must absolutely adore this weapon. They must be so proud of it because they have shown this particular energy SMG in every single piece of marketing material so far. Every trailer features this SMG in one way or another. And since they keep trying to jam it down our throats, I'm interested to try it out, right? This has to be like the weapon. They are just like, this is our gun. We are so proud of this thing. And so we see it, of course, here in this trailer. And I'm definitely looking forward to trying it out and learning more about it. In the same shot that we saw Andre holding the Ripper, we also see AJ holding an assault rifle of some kind. This looks to be like one of those weapons from Kendall Ballistics. It means it's going to be actually shooting bullets. And I wish I could tell more about the weapon, but the image, again, I apologize, is too blurry for me to really tell too much about it. But we also see Sally over there on the right holding a hipfire only laser light machine gun, and we will be talking more about that LMG later on in the video. During the roller coaster scene, we see what looks to be the return of the M14, which is pretty interesting. And the reason why, and people may be wondering why I didn't include the M14 up there with the Ripper and the Intervention as weapons that are returning to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the reason why is because we have seen the M14 so many times in Call of Duty, or even its predecessor, like the M1 Garand. Count how many Call of Duty games have a Garand or an M14 in them, because almost every Call of Duty game ever has one of these weapons in there. So I'm not super excited for the return of the M14, but still, it's also kind of cool at the same time time that it's going to be back, because it's always nice to see old school weapons making a return in newer Call of Duty games. Here we see Andre holding a semi-automatic shotgun of some kind. Here we see Sally at the new box using the rifle that we saw used throughout the entire Black Sky gameplay trailer. And in the box, we see this big LMG looking thing. And once that cycles, we see this bullpup rifle, which looks strikingly similar to the FAMAS from the original Black Ops. I'm just saying, guys, I'm very interested to learn more about this assault rifle, because again, it looks a lot like the FAMAS. And once it cycles once more, we get this big laser weapon, which was the same weapon that we saw Sally using towards the beginning of the trailer. It looks to be a hip-fire only laser light machine gun, and that's interesting. Is it going to be similar to the chainsaw from Call of Duty Ghosts, which was a hip-fire only LMG, which was a lot of fun to use? Or, more likely, is it going to be like the rippable turret, the kill streak that we saw in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? That was one of my favorite kill streaks to use in Advanced Warfare, and so if they make it like a baseline weapon in Infinite Warfare, I am going to be one happy camper. Let's skip ahead to this super blurry shot of Andre holding what looks to be a light machine gun, and again, I apologize for how blurry this is, but it appears to be a light machine gun, and if we skip ahead a few frames, it definitely looks to be an LMG given how big the magazine is. And here towards the end of the trailer, we see Sally shooting an energy pistol at the big zombie. And now I don't believe this is one of the quest pistols, because she's spamming it at the big zombie and nothing's really happening. I think it's just going to be an energy pistol, which is pretty cool. It says there's going to be ballistic pistols in this game, there's going to be energy pistols in this game. I'm definitely interested to learn more about the secondaries, of course. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this video. I just want to point out a lot of the weapons that we saw here in this trailer, because they are going to be relevant to the multiplayer. Again, going back to the description of Infinite Warfare Zombies, the Zombies mode is going to feature a combination of multiplayer weapons, zombie-specific variations, as well as quest weapons. And that says to me, everything that we see here in this trailer could actually be in the multiplayer. Now, of course, some stuff isn't. Like, for example, we see Andre here using that big LMG from earlier, except now it's freezing zombies. I don't know what he did to do that. Maybe he upgraded it. Maybe he has a perk. Maybe it's... I don't know what could possibly be happening, but I don't think that's going to be in the multiplayer. But the laser LMG itself, that's probably going to be in the multiplayer, right? And of course, the return of the Ripper, the M14, the intervention, melee weapons. We could learn a lot from this trailer, so definitely kudos to Infinity Ward for finally giving us something to learn from in regards to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Thank them so much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And if you did, please drop me a rating and let me know down there in the comments what are your thoughts on the various weapons that we saw here in this trailer. And I think I pointed out every single major one. I may have missed one or two, so feel free to point that out down there in the comments. But again, just let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what are your thoughts on the weapons of Infinite Warfare so far based upon what we've seen here in this trailer. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.